The man outside my hotel room. It was a cold autumn evening when I checked into a small hotel just outside the city. I had been traveling for hours, and exhaustion was starting to settle in. The receptionist handed me the key to room 309, and after thanking her, I made my way up the dimly lit hallway to my room. Something about the hotel felt off. The silence was too deep, as if the walls themselves were listening. Then, faintly, almost imperceptible at first, came a soft creak-like weight shifting on an old wooden floor. A slow, deliberate breath followed, barely audible but undeniably there. Like it was waiting for me. The air smelled stale, and the walls were lined with old wallpaper that was peeling at the edges. The fluorescent lights flickered slightly, casting strange shadows along the corridor. Still, I brushed off my unease and unlocked the door to my room. Inside, everything looked normal. But a faint, lingering scent of something damp and rotten made my stomach turn. Too normal. As if the room had been staged, untouched by previous guests. A queen-sized bed, a desk, a small television mounted on the wall, and a single window covered with heavy curtains. I tossed my bag onto the chair, locked the door, and collapsed onto the bed. As I scrolled mindlessly through my phone, a soft tap 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 echoed from the hallway. My heart skipped a beat. It wasn't a knock, just a faint, rhythmic tapping, like someone gently running their fingers along the doors. I sat up, listening carefully. The sound moved down the hall, growing fainter until it disappeared completely. I shook my head. Probably just another guest. Trying to ignore the lingering unease, I decided to take a quick shower. The bathroom light buzzed as I flipped it on, and the mirror was already fogged slightly, as if someone had been in there before me. I wiped it clean and stared at my reflection. Just your imagination. Halfway through my shower, I heard it again. Tap, tap, tap. This time, it was right outside my door. My blood ran cold. The sound was slow, deliberate. I turned off the water and strained my ears. Silence, but something didn't feel right. Wrapping a towel around myself, I stepped into the room, heart pounding. I tiptoed to the peephole and took a deep breath before looking through. Nothing. The hallway was empty. Letting out a shaky breath, I backed away from the door. It's fine. Just get some sleep. I turned off the lights and slid under the covers, but sleep didn't come easily. The hotel room felt too quiet, the kind of silence that wasn't natural. I stared at the ceiling, trying to shake the growing paranoia. Then, a whisper. Not from the hallway. From inside the room. A shift in the air. A whisper that didn't belong. It was low, rasping, like someone struggling to form words but failing. The sound came from the corner, where the darkness was thickest. Low, inaudible, just outside the door. Tap, tap, tap. This time, it was on the window. I froze. I was on the third floor. Slowly, I turned my head toward the window. The curtains were drawn, but a faint outline of a figure stood behind them. My breath caught in my throat. How the hell could someone be outside my window? The tapping continued, light and deliberate, as if they knew I was watching. My entire body tensed. I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight, aiming it toward the curtains. The moment the light hit the fabric, the tapping stopped. Silence. I didn't move for what felt like an eternity. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. Finally, I forced myself to get up. Step by step, I approached the window, every nerve in my body screaming at me to stop. With one swift motion, I yanked the curtains open. Nothing. The balcony was empty. No footprints, no rope, no ledge someone could have stood on. Just an empty void of night. But my breath caught when I noticed faint streaks on the outside of the windows, if something had been dragged down the glass. Long, uneven trails, not made by hands but by something clawed, something that scraped the surface with slow, measured intent. But the glass still held the imprint of a hand. A wet, smudged palm pressed against Ida's, if someone had just been there, watching. I slammed the curtain shut and backed away, my entire body shaking. This isn't normal. I grabbed my phone to call the front desk, but just as I was about to dial, a notification popped up. An unknown number had sent me a photo. With trembling fingers, I opened it. It was a picture of me, lying in bed, taken from inside my room. But this time, the bed wasn't empty. A figure had distorted, inhuman crouched at the foot of it, staring directly at me. Its limbs were wrong, too long, too thin, as if stretched beyond natural limits. Its eyes, or where eyes should have been, were hollow voids, absorbing the dim light of the room. Then, with a sickening crack, it tilted its head, and I felt the weight of its gaze burrowing into me. But in the corner of the photo, near the edge of the bed, was a shadow. A figure almost human, but not quite. Twisted. Watching.